Hey guys, Metasploit here, back again with another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing where we left off, where I'm going to be showing you how to use Metasploit to run an exploit on a service. In this case we're going to be using Metasploitable, and we're going to be exploiting the FTP port so that we can upload and download files to and from the web server. So let's get started. So in the previous video, I showed you guys how to set up or how to use Metasploitable to basically exercise or test your skills in exploiting. So essentially what we did is we scanned the IP address, the local IP address for Metasploitable, and we essentially gave it an nmap scan to find out what services were running, and the ports that we found that were open were obviously going to be all the ports, and that's because Metasploitable is configured to be that way. So the main thing that we're going to be doing now is I'm going to show you how to run an exploit on one of these services, more specifically the FTP service, because a lot of you guys thought that I didn't know how to use Metasploit. I just breezed over it because I wanted to do that in this video. So we're actually going to be using Metasploit in this video, and I'll show you how to use it. So let's get started. So we know that the port that we're targeting is the FTP port, which is port 21. So we know that it's configured correctly. Now the service that it's running, or the service version that it's running, is FTPD 2.3.4. So what we did is we Googled this service to find exploits for it. Again, you can use any other website to search for exploits, any search engine. Many people like to search on exploit DB or exploit database because that's where you'd find most of the exploits. So I found the exploit on rapid7.com. Now Rapid7 is the company that develops Metasploit, and they essentially have an exploit for this service, which is VSFTBD, which is the FTP service. For the specific version 2.3.4, which the exploit is a backdoor command execution, which allows commands to be executed a bit like what you would have in a reverse shell. So what we're going to do is we already have the exploit here, the module here. So when talking about Metasploit, which is what we're going to be using, not Metasploitable now, let us just start it up. So to start up Metasploit, you just open up your terminal. Again, I'm running Parrot OS. It really doesn't matter what pen testing OS you're using. So MSF console, all right, MSF console, and just give it a few seconds to start up. It shouldn't take too much time, and we should be good to go. So while that's starting up, let me explain what Metasploit is. All right, Metasploit is a large database of exploits. All right, and it essentially allows you to use these exploits to your advantage and to exploit systems. Now, whatever systems you try and exploit, that's up to you. But the cool thing about Metasploit is it allows you to create your own exploits, which is awesome. So if you're an advanced user and you actually you are working with websites or services most of the time, and you find vulnerabilities, you can create an exploit for the purpose of security and patching. So that's up to you. So as you can see here, it's going to take a while. It's going to start the Metasploit framework console, and we should begin. There we are. So as you can see, Metasploit is pretty simple to navigate. You have your information. So it's telling you to check out Metasploit Pro, which is a very good option if you're going to use this tool a lot. In terms of the other information, we have 1662 exploits, which is pretty awesome. And yeah, let's get started. Now, pretty much there are a bunch of commands that you have to be familiar with Metasploit, and one of them is obviously the help command. So if we type in help, it's going to give us information or help, really. So this is essentially the user's manual. Now I'm just going to tell you the most important commands that will really help you right now. So the most important commands right now are the obviously the MSF console command, which will start Metasploit for you. You then have the use command, all right? So that's as simple as that, which allows you to use an exploit, all right? You then have the show command. The show command allows you to show the exploits or the options available for the exploit, all right? You then have your set command. Your set command allows you to configure an exploit or an option. And you have finally your exploit option, which essentially makes you run the exploit that you currently want to run. So it's really very simple now. What we need to do is we need the name of the exploit. In this case, the module name is right here, and it'll just give it to you in the form that you need it. So just copy this, because this is the name of the module or the exploit for this matter. And in Metasploit, what you want to do is just type in use, because that's the exploit that we want to use, and just paste in the name. All right. Now, let me just minimize this. That could be a distraction. All right. So once you have hit that, just hit enter. And as you can see, it's going to automatically detect that, you know that this exploit is correct and it is a valid exploit. Now, what you can do is you can show the options. All right. So show options, and essentially this will show you the options that you can change and configure according to what or how you want the exploit to run. Now, in the previous video, I touched upon this very lightly, and you guys thought that I changed the things incorrectly. And the reason being is I did it really quickly, and my job was not to actually show you the exploit. But let's do it correctly now. Now, what we need to do is we need to understand a few things first. The R host is the target address, all right? And the R port, which is already configured to 21, is correct, because we know the port is configured correctly. If it was configured to something like port 22 by mistake, that could also be something that you need to change. Now, to change the R host to what we want, which is the IP of the Metasploitable machine, the machine that we want to exploit in this case, we need to essentially say set R host. All right, so set R host, and we use the IP. So 192.168.2.129. All right, and if we set that, it's going to say R host is equal to, and now we can essentially just check. We can say show options to make sure that everything is configured correctly before we run our exploit. And as you can see, the R host is set to the IP address, and our port is configured correctly, because as I said, the port that we're trying to target here is going to be port 21, and the IP address is right there, 192.168.2.129. And again, you can ping yours to test it if it's still running. And yeah. Now, what we can do now is all we have to do is say exploit, right? As simple as that. And we hit enter, and let's see what we get. All right. And there we are. So it's going to start the banner capture, and it's going to say command shell session 1 open. So it's opened a shell session, which means this system is Linux, obviously, and we can run our Linux commands. So pretty awesome. And as you can see, we can send commands back and forth. So let's try a few commands. Let's see if we can run a task manager. Oops, we did not. I don't think that's installed on the Metasploitable machine. Let's see if we can run the clear command. There we are. Awesome. So now we have a clear bash or shell. Sorry about that. And we can try something like uname r. Uname R, and there it's going to tell us the server version. You have your uname A, and there we are, Linux Metasploitable, blah blah blah. We can also list out the files available, and whoa, there's a lot of files in there. And I guess you guys can see the power of this. If you have a server that has this vulnerability, depending on the service that it's running, you get the idea. It's very powerful, and you can run a plethora of commands, you know. So it's pretty awesome. That's going to be it for this video, guys. A little bit of a short video, but this is a very important introduction to Metasploit. It's what's not important is the fact that we're using a simple exploit. It's very important that I'm showing you guys how to use it and how to get comfortable with it. So I hope you guys found value in that video. If you did, please leave a like down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, let me know in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on my social networks. The links will also be in the description. If you have any personal questions, hit me up on Kick. For the latest hacking news and resources, check out my website. Link will be in the description. And have a fantastic day. Peace.